In one chapter, you write, and I think it was actually one of the letters to one of the kids, and you said, even though I can be hard and strict, know that my heart is full of love for you always. So you admit that you have a hard exterior at times.
Being a mom, period, being a mom of 8 kids, being a mom who has gone through a lot of tough times, sometimes that is maybe a coping mechanism for me. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's because I have to be that old-time, strict mom. But my kids see through to the heart of me, and really on the inside, I'm just a mushy-gushy ball of love towards them, and they get that.
What made you decide to incorporate individual letters to each of the children?
The idea came to me out of nowhere. I had kept a journal for a year, almost daily, and it was around the time our show, Jon and Kate Plus 8, first started, and it occurred to me that that was always the goal, to turn this into a book, because there was a lot of good information there. But I didn't feel like, I wasn't sure it would make a full, complete book. And at the same time, this idea hit me. Because of everything we've gone through in the last few years, I wanted my kids to know. I just wanted them to know, which is where the title came from. How much I love them, how much they mean to me.
When they're watching the show, though, and they hear you directly address the issue of custody, I mean, are they aware of what's going on?
I don't allow them to directly hear the issue. I keep my words and conversations to an appropriate level for them at all times for them. And so I keep them sheltered from that, and they're aware that we both love them, and the figuring it out issue is our issue.
Do you feel you could actually lose custody of your children?
I feel like there's a peaceful resolution, and, as quiet as I can keep it, that's my goal for the kids.
Yeah. What is the worst case scenario?
I don't know. I don't think of worst case scenarios in any situation. I keep positive, and my heart is with my kids, and that's where I focus.
Do you have any regrets about your relationship with Jon?
I think anybody who ends up in a divorce has regrets. And I regret that we couldn't work it out for the sake of the kids. But it has caused me to refocus on how very much I love my kids. And I probably have developed a far deeper love for them, if that makes sense, through this experience.
The book is out. I read it. It was sweet. It was touching. There's a great spiritual life in your family, and that seems to be the most important thing to you in raising your kids.
My faith has always been the reason that I can get up in the morning, that I can continue on. It's the reason I have my kids. I have twins and sextuplets who are perfectly healthy and wonderful, and none of that is by accident. And days are tough. Days can be dark. Days can be very depressing and upsetting and frustrating. But the fact that God already knows what's going to happen in my life, it's already preordained and predestined, and He knows what will happen, that I can rest back and do the best that I can do in the things that I can do and leave the rest to Him.
You know it better than anybody, under criticism for doing this, committing yourself to such a rigorous schedule far away from the kids. How does that affect you, or does it?
Well, I planned this knowing that I would fly back and forth, so I'm here 3 days and I'm home the rest of the week. I dance in the basement, I stop and have meals with the kids, and I look at it as a humongously wonderful opportunity, and it's work for me, and it's a great way to provide for my kids. And so it's a short-lived thing. It's a thing where custody is balanced back and forth. Typically, Jon is with the kids when I'm here, and most of the time it works out that way. So I would be away from them anyway during those time periods.
Now, what do the kids say? They must be home watching, right?
They are allowed to stay up late and eat popcorn and watch Mommy dance. And to be honest, at this point, I haven't talked to them to find out their reactions yet. They're in school, time difference. And so they always say the same thing. You looked beautiful. I loved your dress. Tony looked really good. And you did a good job. They're my biggest supporters.
Do they have any kind of observations, especially the two older girls? Any advice for you?
Well, Maddie is always very happy when I get through the dance without screaming. At home, every Saturday morning, pretty much when our dance is, pretty much done, we always dance for the kids. And typically, if I mess up or typically if I don't like what I did, I'll scream, which is probably not very shocking if you know me. But Maddie always, her advice to me is just don't scream.
Oh, that is so sweet. Mommy, don't scream. Everybody's watching, right?
Yeah.